I'm Bob the Cigar Guy. This is Traveler's Rest, South Carolina, and I'm going to spend some time with you with this Miquerida Black by Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. And I'm going to talk about something that may be divisive, dividing. Some people are going to possibly be upset with me. I don't care. I do, but I'd really, it is what it is. Truth is truth. And I don't mean to be divisive. I know I'm kind of clickbaiting on my title to get you to watch it because I want you to watch my videos, right? Hopefully they're beneficial to you, but I need the views. It's fair enough, but it's going to be truthful. It's not just clickbait where I put up a picture of something and it's not in the video at all, but because I'm in the video, the cigars in the video, and we're going to talk about, are there any real tobacconists left? First of all, let's talk about it. What's a tobacconist? A tobacconist, in my simple, basic definition, is a person who knows their way around cigars, tobacco blends, and when you go in, that you can tell them that you like leathers, or you like creamy toast, or you don't like something real heavy, you like something a little small, and they can say, okay, let me introduce you to this and that and the other, and then give you that information, and then you can make your own decisions. They don't say, oh, you need this. I don't like that. A girl comes in, and this happens a lot. A woman comes into the lounge, and the first thing they do is say, "Oh, you need leather rose, or you need an infused cigar, or you need a light cigar." Some of the ladies that I've met smoke heavier cigars than a lot of the men I know. I mean, they're big time and serious. You can't do that by just looking at somebody. You also can't do where they come in jeans and dirty shoes. They work a low budget job, so I'm going to sell them low budget. But if you come in with a Rolex or something, I'm going to sell you this $200 cigar. No. So they ask you about your budget, what you want to spend. They ask you how many cigars you want to sell or you want to buy. And then they ask you, what's your experiences and this and that. And then they use those information to tailor the best opportunity for you, because the tobacconist's job is to give you the best moment of your time and value of your price, what you spend. That's my opinion. It used to be. It used to be that when you got a job as a waiter or a waitress or a host at a restaurant, you basically had to go through a class. Or if you didn't go through a professional class, you had a waiter or a waitress that had been there a long time, and they teach you how to serve, when to keep the water filled, when to give them a break, the time between when you go to see them and sit them, and when you bring the drinks, and then when you bring them, ask them about their appetizers and then food, and then bring them their food. And it makes a great dining experience. And then you clean the table and you bust the table, you pre-bust the table so there's not a bunch of stuff there, and you're not on top of them, but they're not looking for you either. Right? You learn things. You learn that when you deliver a dish of food, you don't put your thumb on top of the plate when you hand it to somebody. Nowadays, you go in there and there's no respect in many places for that job. Because there's so many restaurants, you just go in there and you just get what you get. And most people just sling food at you, and they'll bring you drinks and forget to bring you straws for the ladies. Or you're missing silverware, or you didn't get menus, or whatever, right? The service is not the same. Cigar lounges, I'm getting in trouble. Cigar lounges have that same problem. Just because you like smoking cigars and you hang out in the lounge and you ain't got nothing to do and you're friends with the owner of the lounge, boy, I'm going to get in trouble. That doesn't mean that you should say, hey, let me get a job working in your humidor. It's more work than that. You need to know something, because people, when you're in that position, people trust that you know what you're talking about, not your personal biases. Oh, well, I like the blah, 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 blah. And that's not going to be for them. You really need to tailor it, concierge service, to people. Why do I say all that? I'll tell you why I say all that. Because a lot of the times when I talk on this series brought to you by Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust, thank you so much for Steve Saka for letting me just to let the things in my mind and the things in my world just ooze out to everybody. So hopefully it makes a difference for somebody. But I was at a lounge, and there's a bias. This tobacconist did a great job, but you could call me biased. It's my son, Chief, Stephen. He got a job at a local lounge, and I got to experience his skill set. Now, he has never been to a tobacco university or, one of those professional classes, cigar sommelier, and they have those. But he's been around cigars for a while. And not only has he just been a cigar smoker, he has been deep dive into media and research, and he has a lot of experiences a lot of people don't have just by blessings of the channel and the connections and the friends we have and the communications we have with those people. We ask them hard questions, and Chief has been absorbing this stuff amazingly, because I got to go into a lounge or to the humidor, 125 facings probably. A lot of Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust in there. I love that. But Tonga was in there selling like a champ. I walked in there before everybody was in there. We had a bunch of people show up. I walked in there with just me and him. And so I started asking him questions because he has experience I don't have now, right? He's been there for a short period of time, but he's getting to understand the retail side. And I said, so what's been moving? What's been moving with this manufacturer, that manufacturer? How's the Dunbarton stuff going? He goes, man, this red meat leverage for Tonga is just going off the shelf. We had 4 boxes yesterday, and now we got a half a box left, right? It's taken off. And so the fact that he's paying attention to his inventory and what people like is really, really cool. He knew a lot of the price points really, really fast. He knew where everything was. He helped to organize things and put things in place to where it made sense. And then he had to walk out and take care of some people, and because they have a full bar there, so it was helping them with drinks and stuff like that. And then there was a couple that came in, a man that came in, and we just started chatting. And he goes, I'm not sure what I want. I said, well, tell me. Because I know a little bit about cigars. I'm not chief, but I know a little bit about cigars. And I said, so tell me what you like. What do you usually smoke? And so I gave him some suggestions. And then his wife came in. He goes, well, my wife's going to come in. She's going to want you to say all that over again. I said, okay. And so she came in, she started talking. And he says, you need to talk to this guy. And so we're chit-chatting, and Chief comes in. He's being very helpful. He's not one of those guys that's going to push in and watch you the whole time and stare at you and just make you feel like, does he think I'm stealing something? Right? He's there, but he's not. He's like, let me know if you need something. And then he just kind of goes and does something else. But he came in while we're talking, and he's sorting some stuff, putting some stuff up. He's asking questions, and Steven started chiming in. And so I kind of backed up, and the lady said, well, I was talking to him. She goes, yeah, but that's my dad. Yeah. And I said, no, you need to talk to him. And so really it was fun to see that experience. But the main exciting thing to me was that when I backed out and I said, hey, this kid knows what he knows. He knows what he knows. I can call him kid, even though he's 33 years old, right? He's a big old boy. 33, 34, born 91. His birthday is this month. So it's 34. He'll be 34. He will be 34. He's 33. Whew, I got that right. Because if he ever watches this, which he doesn't, he would be like, you don't even know when my birthday is. You don't even know how old I am. Anyway, he asked the same questions I asked. So what do you like? He didn't jump off of what I did. He started on his own. So he made sure that he could give her the best advice. And a lot of the suggestions that he made are exactly suggestions I made, which doesn't mean that I'm amazing. I just know a little bit. But then he started going a little deeper and say, now, if you get this, or you get this, or you get that. And then he asked a couple of questions that I hadn't even asked. He goes, how long do you want to smoke a cigar? You know what? How much time do you want to smoke? Are you going to be outside? Or are you going to be in a closed-in room? Are you going to be smoking it here? Are you going to take it home? And those are very important questions because Steve Saka will talk about some of his cigars, Sin Compromiso especially. He loves it when people smoke it in a closed-in room so that they can catch the essence of the room note. That's the smell, the smoke in the air. It really lends to that added experience. And so the fact that he asked those questions, I'm sitting there going, all right. And he was just on balance. He was given knowledge and information, but he wasn't overbraining somebody. He wasn't talking down to them. He wasn't dumbing it down because it was a girl. It was right in the middle of the lane. I can't believe she didn't feel anything but respected. And evidently it worked. He did a good job because the man walked out with 4 or 5 cigars and she walked out with 3 or 4, and they hung out outside on the they have a cobblestone road out in front, a brick road out front, some chairs and stuff and tables. And so they kind of sat out there, al fresco, al dente spaghetti, al fresco outside. So he sat outside and smoked cigars for a little while, had a couple drinks. It was great. And he did that all night long. And that reminded me of the thing that I miss. I miss tobacconists in cigar lounges. I do. Let me take that back. I miss good tobacconists in cigar lounges. I miss somebody who not only knows the information, knows their inventory, but knows how to ask questions to give me the best experience possible. I like that. I do. I think if I go into a lounge and I get to sit down and talk with a tobacconist, they should know more than me. They should. It's their job. It should be their passion. This is not a job where you just get it, just a 9 to 5. No, it is something that you love to do because you love to serve the people that come into your space. So now that I have alienated myself from many friends of mine who own cigar lounges, sorry, fellas, and I probably ticked off some of y'all, so I'm okay. Leave me a comment. Tell me I'm just dumb. You don't need the brick and mortar experience. You just want to go in there and pick up cigars when you can't go online. Right? They're just there. You're going to go pick them up on the way home or something. Or you're on vacation, you just pick them up. And you just want to run in and get it because you don't need all that service. If that's the case, let me know. But if you're like me and you want to go back to the days of good quality customer service, I would love to hear that too. I would. I'd love to hear your opinion. I would. Because my opinion is just one. It's not that good. I'd love to hear yours because I bet it's great, just like you are. Now, speaking of great, I'm going to end this because I'm about to start editing this video by smoking on this Miquerida Black. Talk about great. Full flavor, a little bit of spice, full bodied, leathers, dark espresso, maybe a little bitter chocolate, little minerality turned earth. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. I love you too. I'll see you later. Later, Tater.